Hello everyone, welcome back again. My name is Jesse and in this one tutorial on Julia, we're learning about struct. So what is a struct? So a struct is simply put a structure, right? So it's a customizable composite type and is usually used to create your own data type. So in case you want to create your own complex data type, you can use a struct to create it. And then the benefit of using a struct is that it allows us to be able to represent variables of different data types. So let's say you have a collection of information with different data types and you want to collect them together as a single entity. You can use a struct to create it. So it's just simply put a collection of variables under a single name. That is the basic idea about struct. Now let's see how to do that. So in the previous version of Julia, we use type to create your own customizable data type. And then in the current version, from version 1.0 and upwards, or from version 0.7 and upwards, you just go with mutable struct to create your own data type. And then in case you want to create an immutable composite data type, you just go with immutable. For the current version, you just go with struct. So the basic idea is that the previous version was something like this. In the previous version, in case you wanted to create your own customized data type, just go with type, then the name of your type, then you define your variables, right? Your name fields, right? So your name fields. And then by the current version, you just go with mutable struct for the version 1.0 and upwards. In the previous version, you just go with immutable struct, immutable, right? Then you create it. But in the current version, just go with struct. Now let's see an example of how to create your own customizable data type in Julia. So as we already learned that struct are just a collection of variables under a single name, right? It's a customizable composite type. So to create a simple one, you're just going to go with struct, then my struct. So this is going to be my struct. I want to create something called my struct. This is my own customizable data type I'm creating. Then I'm going to give it a name, right? So this name fields are going to be the one that's going to store the value, going to store all the data. So it's going to be, let's say, A, and I'm going to define the type. So struct gives you the opportunity to create your own customizable data type that has the capacity to accept different data types together. So let's see an example. So with this, I can define my own data type as vector. Then this vector is going to be of float 64, right? Of 64. So this one of the name fields. So this is A, is going to store a different data type, and I'm going to create another one called B, and B is going to accept any data type. So if I don't define it, it can accept any data type, then I'll go with end. So if I run this particular start that I have here, it's going to create it perfectly for us in a very nice format. Perfect. So now if I just create something like n, right, then I go with my struct. So if I go with my struct, now it's going to act like a constructor function to construct based on these values, right? An object of all these values. So it's going to be like this. So let's give it a value of say 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then can also accept something like hello. So now I've created my own customizable data type that can accept an array as well as a number, as well as not just a number but a string of any different type. So if I run this particular stuff, so now this is my struct, right? So if I check for the type of this, so type of n, right? So if I go with type of n, now it's going to tell me that it is what my struct. So this is a own data type of itself called my struct. That is the advantage of struct. It allows you to create your own customizable data type. So in case I want to access this particular data type, how do I do that? It's going to be n, right? But first of all, to be able to access all the name fields inside this particular data type, just go with field name, then type of, can't spell type of n, right? And then this is going to list all the field names for us as symbols. Perfect. So it's having A and B, which refer to this A and B, right? So in case I want to access anything from this, I just go with n, right? Dot the A. So I go with dot A, it's going to print it perfectly for me, which is this my array. Perfect. So it's listing all the float values there perfectly for us. That's automatically converted them to float values. Very nice. So that's one of the ways of working with this. So I can also access the same thing for the B, and it's going to print the hello for me. So that is how to work with struct. So this struct here is immutable. You can't change it. So in case I do something like this, n.a is equal to 12, it's going to give us a method error. You can't change it because it's immutable. You cannot change a struct. In case you want to change this one, then you have to make it mutable. So method error cannot convert an object of this, right? So you cannot do that. But the advantage of this is that when you create a struct like this is immutable. But with this struct you have created, it's accepting a variable. It's accepting a variable of vectors, right? A data structure of vectors. So that means that we can push values into it. That is one nice thing about it. So it's going to be like this. So append band, then n dot a, right? Then I can push my value of the 12 there. Perfect. So now it's working and it has come out with this. So that is the basic idea about it. So when you create a struct like that, it is immutable, but based on a data type that I've created inside a name field, it will determine what you can do with it, right? So in case you create a vector, you'll be able to push values into that particular name field there, just like this. But it is immutable. You cannot change it like this. You cannot change it. So to create a mutable data type, then you go with mutable struct. So let's see how to do that. So this is going to be for mutable data type. So how do you do that? It's going to be something like this. So mutable, then struct. That is the only thing just to do. Then let's call it as my type, right? This is my type that I can change it. So this, then I can supply every name there. So let's say y, let's give it s, and then y, then end. So if I go with this, now it's now a different type of its own. So I can just create something simple. So let's give it as m. It's going to be for mutable my type, and I can supply my values of 1, right, and then another value 1.0 and another value of, let's say, the whole sentence, hello, this is mutable. And it's still going to work because we did not define the particular data type. We just allowed it to accept anything because Julia is very powerful with multiple dispatch. Okay, perfect. So now that is how it is, right? So it's going to create something very interesting for us. So we can modify this one in any way. So if I go with m dot x, right, which is going to give us m dot x is going to give us 1.0. So I can actually change this. So m dot x is going to be 200. So I go with this. Perfect. It's going to work. Perfect. So now m dot is mutable. It can be changed. So if I go back to m dot x now, it is now 200. So that is a basic idea about struct. So to construct your own customized data type, you can just use the struct, right? If you want it to be immutable, you go straight away with struct. In case you want to be mutable, just go with mutable. So that is the basic idea about it. So let's see a simple example and then see how to work with it. So let's say I have values, right? So let's say I have collection of data for students, and then for this student they have a ID, right? ID is going to be of a number. They have something like, let's say, their name, they have their salary or something, or let's say money that they are paying, and several etc data. So all of these things are different data types. Having different data types, I want to put them as a single entity. So I can use the struct to do that in a very simple way. By going with this, I can create a mutable struct. So mutable struct. I can use a normal struct to do that, but let's make it mutable struct. Then I can call it a student type. Let's go to student type. Perfect. So now I can define the individual one. So ID. So I want ID to be, let's say, int for integers, and I want name. Can't spell name. Name to be of, let's say, string, right? So if I want name to be string, I can just go with abstract string. Let's make it abstract string. Abstract. Then I can also make the, let's say, amount or money to be any value. I'm not going to give you anything. Let's give it. I'm not going to give it any. I'm just going to end. So I go straight away with this. Now I'm going to create a customized data type of this, my student type. So now I can actually create several objects, several instances of this particular stuff using the stuff. So let's call it as student 1. It's going to be student, right? And then it's going to first take the ID of, let's say, 1 for the first ID. Then the second one is going to be of the name, which is going to be, let's say, John. Nobody likes John. And then the second one is going to be the amount I'm going to supply, which can be, let's say, another value. So if I run this, now I've created a simple stuff. So in case I want to access this one, I can just go with student one dot whatever stuff. So if I want to check all the fields, I just go with type of this particular stuff that we had. Then I just go with my field name. Field names. Then it's going to list all the field names, but I just add int, name, and then money. Perfect, right? So now I can actually work with it, and I think I can even use dump. So I can even use dump to also do that. So dump, and then the students. So that's when I use dump, it's still working perfectly, giving it as the type and then the various values, right? So you can also use dump to get information about it. So that is a basic idea about it, and I can use to do a lot of things. So thank you for watching this tutorial. In case you have any question or contribution, you can just put inside the comment section, and then stay tuned for the rest. You can also check the link to check how we use struct to create a simple quiz app. Thank you, and then stay blessed.